Have you ever wondered what was going on in your relationship and if there were deeper issues at play? Signs you might be missing. I know I have. I dated someone who seemed perfect on the outside, but there were little holes in her stories and actions that made me think something wasn't quite right. It wasn't until I paid more attention to certain subtle clues that I started to understand her whole story. Relationships are complicated, and sometimes small clues can reveal bigger secrets about our partner's past. In this video, we'll look at 10 signs that may suggest your partner has had multiple sexual partners before. By understanding these signs, you'll gain valuable insights into your relationship dynamics and be able to navigate them with clarity and confidence. Watch until the end to find out these important insights and learn how to apply them to your own life. You can help me keep spreading the Stoic philosophy if you like the movie. If you haven't already, I suggest that you subscribe and turn on the bell so that you don't miss any shows. If you liked this video's topic, please leave a comment on number 1. If you didn't, please leave a comment on number 0 so I can make a better video for you. Now, let's start with number 1. Is she extremely comfortable with physical intimacy? Have you ever been intimate with her and felt more worried than excited? Maybe your first intimate encounter wasn't just amazing, it was almost too perfect. You were expecting a great time, but it felt like she had done it 1,000,000 times before. Did she show an unsettling level of comfort and boldness with physical intimacy, taking the lead with a level of skill that caught you off guard? This level of comfort and ease in physical closeness could be a sign of many past encounters. Instead of starting the conversation, she may have effortlessly shown a familiarity that suggests she's well versed in the art of intimacy. An experienced partner wouldn't hesitate to engage in cuddling, kissing, or even more adventurous activities, showing a level of comfort that goes beyond what you'd expect from a novice. If you're a sensitive person, you may be able to tell if this familiarity comes from real passion or a history of many encounters, but it's important not to jump to conclusions based on this observation alone. Could make people wonder it's only one thing to think about. There is a wide range in how expressive and skilled people are in bed, and some people naturally exude confidence and skill without having had many sexual encounters. Because of this, it's important to pay attention to other signs and cues to see if she is really the right partner for you. Number 2, stays away from emotional closeness in relationships because they are so complicated. Emotional closeness is a cornerstone that provides comfort during difficult times and strengthens the bond between partners. However, there are times when even the strongest people need emotional support and turn to their partner in the hopes of finding comfort and connection in their relationship. Get close to a deep spiritual bond, and the being able to offer emotional support is one of the most important parts of a healthy relationship. It helps couples get through tough times together. But what if, despite your best efforts to connect emotionally, you are met with silence? But what if your partner's physical presence hides a mental absence, leaving you adrift in a sea of unspoken words and emotions? It's possible that behavior that includes avoiding deep emotional conversations could be a sign of a history full of love relationships. If a woman has been in multiple relationships before, she may avoid emotional intimacy and keep her feelings at arm's length. But how can you tell if this avoidance of emotional connection is on purpose? Imagine trying to have an honest conversation with her, only to find her steer the conversation towards lighter, more surface-level topics, or quickly change the subject altogether. It's as if she's afraid to go into deeper waters because she's emotionally vulnerable. This avoidance can leave you feeling emotionally empty as you try to figure out if her reticon is caused by a lack of interest or a deeper emotional wound. If you're having trouble with this emotional disconnect, you might want to rethink how you're dealing with it. But before you jump to conclusions, think about the possibility that her guarded behavior is based on past emotional pain. Have patience and be willing to dig deeper. May show the emotional layers hiding beneath her surface, throwing light on whether her hesitance is just a temporary sign or a sign of a deeper reluctance to connect in these murky waters. Remember that understanding and empathy are very important for building a stronger emotional bond. 3. A past that isn't clear or makes no sense. When you look into someone's complicated past, you can often find hints about their romantic journey. Inconsistencies in this story can be a sign of a complicated past. Take a moment to pretend that months have passed and you are still confused about her past. The details she shares seem vague, leaving you with more questions than answers. One day she tells stories about ex-lovers with vivid clarity, and the next day she gives a different account. Maybe she drops the names of several people, leaving you to piece together pieces of a romantic saga. Or maybe she talks lovingly of a long-term ex-lover in one breath, and then she denies having such a person, getting together in the next. These subtle or obvious inconsistencies make it hard to believe that what she's saying is true. It's like getting lost in a maze of half-truths and contradictions, not knowing which way to go. However, it's important to remember that not everyone finds comfort in thinking about old relationships. Some people put more value on the present and making new connections instead of dwelling on past ones. If these inconsistencies make you feel uneasy or worried, you may need to take a closer look at how to handle such a delicate situation. You might want to have an honest talk with her about her past. Do so with sincerity and compassion, and ask for clarification on the issues that have come up. This will give her a chance to share insights into her journey. Watch not only what she says, but also how she acts, because real warmth and openness can reassure you that she will be honest if she responds with doubt. If she fills in the gaps in her story with warmth and clarity, it's a good sign that you're getting to know her better and building trust. On the other hand, if her explanations keep falling apart, leaving you with lingering doubts and uncertainties, it may make you think about whether or not your relationship is still worth maintaining. However, be careful not to jump to conclusions too quickly, realizing that getting through the complicated world of human relationships takes time and honest talk. It takes a careful balance of empathy and discernment to help her figure out her past. You can do this by giving her a safe place to tell her story honestly and by creating an atmosphere of trust and understanding. You open the door for stronger bonds with Blossom. Remember that relationships are based on trust and openness, and that true understanding grows through honest conversation and self-reflection. Did these signs strike a chord with you? Let's have a serious conversation about it, and if you're ready to live a life of virtue and wisdom, subscribe for more content like this. 4 regular changes to plans at the last minute. Have you been the victim of repeated last-minute cancellations from her, leaving you feeling frustrated and left out? These sudden changes in plans can be more confusing than navigating the volatile changes of the stock market. But in the whirlwind of disrupted arrangements, have you stopped to think about the reasons behind this pattern? It's understandable that plans can change sometimes because of unplanned events. The fact that these delays keep happening brings up important issues. When something goes wrong once in a while, it's one thing, but when delays happen all the time, things need to be looked into more closely. What's most telling is that she usually gives vague reasons for these cancellations. She might say that she has a sudden rush of work commitments or an unexpected friend comes into town, but she stays tight-lipped about it, about giving out more information. This kind of evasiveness shouldn't be taken lightly because it could mean that she values other responsibilities more than your relationship. This could mean that her priorities aren't balanced, but everyone has to take the lead sometimes. A busy life full of unplanned obligations. It's important to figure out if these cancellations are due to real emergencies or a lack of respect for your time and presence in her life. Talking about this problem in an open way is the best way to move forward. It's important to have a calm and honest conversation with her about how the frequent delays are affecting your relationship. Look for more information about why these sudden changes are happening. Bringing up these issues will help you see how important it is to treat each other with respect and care in order to have a good relationship. Head on, you make way for meaningful conversation and resolution. It's a chance to say again how much you value your relationship and set clear rules for what is and isn't okay to do. Remember that good communication is the foundation of any successful relationship. It will help you get through tough times and improve the bond you share. Frequently compares you to ex-partners in the complicated web of connections. Comparisons often show how complicated a person's love history is. For example, a woman starting her first relationship sees her partner through the lens of pure devotion, not seeing any similarities to other flames she has been in the past. On the other hand, if she has been through more than one partnership before, the echoes of past events may show up by accident when she compares her current situation to others. This unintentional mixing of the past and present can show up in subtle but telling ways. Perhaps she reminisces about the succulent beefsteak you prepared at home, drawing parallels to a former lover's culinary prowess. Alternatively, she may express admiration for an activity you've never suggested, inadvertently invoking memories of shared moments with a previous paramour. Moreover, during moments of conflict, she may unwittingly draw parallels between your flaws and those of her ex-partner, leaving you grapple with feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. These comparisons recognize them as a record of her journey and experiences. People who have been in a lot of relationships are likely to use past relationships as comparison points, but it's important to stand up for yourself and refuse to be seen as just another contender. If her comparisons keep coming up as a constant reminder of her romantic past, it may be time to re-evaluate the dynamics of your relationship and stand up for your worth as a person who deserves your full attention and respect. It's important to build a relationship based on mutual respect and appreciation, where comparisons fade into insignificance against the background of real connection. And by claiming your worth and refusing to be judged by the past, you pave the way for a relationship based on honesty and unwavering confidence. Remember that you are not just another man. You are a unique person who deserves love and recognition in your own right. Number 6. Very secretive about phone use. Have you noticed a small change in your partner's behavior whenever their phone comes up? Maybe it becomes their most prized possession, which they hold with a sense of guarded protectiveness whenever you're nearby. You may see them quickly turning it face down or switching screens at the slightest sign that you're there. The fact that they are now very focused on their device could bring up a lot of questions about how they connect with each other and how open they are. Number 7 is about how someone looks, which is similar to how her phone is kept secret. Paying close attention to how your partner looks may give you another glimpse into her mind, especially if she spends a lot of time primping and preening, constantly checks her mirror, or compliments others on their looks all the time. These actions show a strong focus on superficial beauty. While it's good to be proud of how you look, the constant focus on physical appeal is unhealthy, could be a sign of deeper causes. It makes me wonder if her focus on outward beauty overrides the importance of inner traits and emotional connection in relationships. Could it be that her desire for physical perfection is more important to her than the desire for real emotional intimacy? The link between her obsession with physical beauty and her romantic history might not be clear at first, but upon closer inspection, it becomes clear that her obsession with physical beauty may come from a history of shallow relationships. In other words, she may have learned to value physical attraction over emotional depth, viewing relationships through the lens of superficiality rather than substance. Also, the tendency to compare your physical attributes with those of past partners or random acquaintances further reinforces her fixation on surface-level traits. Instead of having deep conversations about emotions, she gets stuck in a cycle of superficial comparisons, keeping up a story that lacks real connection. When faced with these tendencies, it's important to talk about the deeper issues and set clear boundaries in the relationship. Be open and honest about your worries about the surface-level nature of your interactions and how they affect your sense of safety and self-worth. Stress how important it is to build real emotional closeness and mutual respect that goes beyond the limits of the relationship. While it's important to recognize that personality traits can affect behavior, it's just as important to make sure that these traits don't get in the way of a healthy relationship. By tackling these issues head-on and fighting for authenticity and depth, you pave the way for a relationship based on mutual understanding and real connection. Remember that embracing your unique traits should never come at the cost of emotional closeness and respect in the relationship. Stoicism tells people to tread lightly when it comes to sex and beauty, self-control, and a focus on inner virtue rather than outer wants by working on self-control and developing good traits. Stoics think that people can find more happiness and fulfillment in their lives. Eighth, many people don't want to talk about sexual health. It can be uncomfortable to talk about sex, but it's an important subject that every couple should talk about. Sexual health. Talking about sexual health with your partner makes sure that you both agree on safe sexual practices and encourages open conversation about your sexual wants and needs. But what if your partner doesn't want to talk about sexual health? This reluctance may make people worry and ask why she did what she did. If she doesn't want to talk about her sexual health, it could be because she's shy, but that's not likely if she's been through a lot. Instead, she may not want to talk about it because of deeper issues that may have something to do with her past. For example, if she's been with multiple partners, she may not want to talk about her sexual history or birth control choices because she's afraid of getting STDs or being judged for them. Despite these fears, it's important to make discussions about sexual health a priority for the sake of both partners. It's good for her health and gives you useful information about her past relationships. Going forward, it's important to be direct and stress how important it is to talk about these things openly and honestly in the relationship. When you bring up the subject, watch her reaction. If she is willing to talk about her concerns, that's a good sign of openness and maturity. On the other hand, if she gets defensive or gives vague answers, that could mean there are deeper problems that need to be dealt with. In the end, clear communication and mutual understanding are key to having healthy and stable conversations about sexual health in a relationship. Number 9. Pain and suffering getting you to know friends. Meeting your partner's friends is an important step in any relationship because it gives you a chance to connect with important people in their life and learn more about their social circle. However, if your partner hesitates or actively avoids introducing you to their friends, it may be a sign of deeper problems that need to be addressed. For example, if your partner consistently avoids the chance to introduce you to their friends, this could be a sign that they are having trouble with their relationship. With vague or shifting reasons when the subject comes up should not be ignored in this way. In good relationships, her behavior is a clear sign that she might be hiding important parts of her life from you. For real, partners are usually excited about including their significant others in many parts of their lives, such as social circles. There are many reasons why she might not want to introduce you to her friends, such as fear of past disclosures or worries about possible conflicts from past relationships. For example, she might be afraid that her friends who know about her romantic history will accidentally share private details. On the other hand, she might be afraid of running into people from past relationships, which could make your interactions more difficult if she refuses or avoids friend introductions. It is very important not to ignore these actions. Start a small, honest conversation with your partner about your desire to understand why she doesn't want to do what you want. Approach the talk with understanding and an open mind, clear thinking instead of conflict. Talking to her directly about the problem can help you understand her thoughts and reasons better. To get a better sense of the dynamics at play, you might want to try other ways to learn more about her social circle, like starting conversations with people you both know, or gently pushing her to talk more about her friends over time. To get through the awkwardness of meeting new friends, you need to be patient, understand, and respect each other. If you create an environment that encourages honest conversation, you can work through these problems together and strengthen the base of your relationship. Remember that honesty and open communication are key to building trust and mutual understanding. Number 10. Shifting goals that don't include you. Now we'll talk about the last and possibly most important sign that may show if she has had more than one sexual partner. When we get together, our partner usually becomes our top priority. They play a big part in our lives and take precedence over other commitments and activities. This is how human psychology works. If you feel like you're constantly being pushed to the side in favor of other things, it could mean that she is still splitting her attention between multiple people. Of course, she may have good reasons for changing her priorities, like work obligations or personal interests. Patterns of disregard that last for a long time can cause real worries. You might feel ignored and undervalued when she suddenly spends all of her free time making new friends, breaking plans she had with you, or focusing on hobbies that don't involve you. These actions can make you question whether or not her stated priorities are real, which can help you figure out what these changes mean. It's important to think about the bigger picture and any signs that might support your doubts. Whether you've seen other signs that she's been with more than one person in the past, it might make it clearer that you're not her only focus. Nevertheless, it is important to approach this evaluation with a clear mind and not jump to conclusions too quickly. Take some time to think about the connection, dynamics, and find out more about her historical and present situations. Have open and honest conversations to voice your worries and make sure everyone knows what you expect from them. Commitment and setting priorities together. In the end, your choice will depend on how comfortable and happy you are in the relationship. If her actions constantly make you feel unappreciated or unsure of her commitment, it could be a sign of deeper problems that need to be looked into further. Always go with your gut and put your emotional health first. Remember that relationships need honesty, respect, and real investment from both people. If you find yourself settling for less than you deserve or giving up on your values, it might be time to reevaluate the relationship and find a path that fits your long-term goals and aspirations. Someone who sees your worth as important and makes you a priority in their life is someone you deserve to be with. One person. Stoicism tells people to be aware of their sexuality and beauty in balance. Self-discipline and a focus on inner virtue rather than outer wants by training in virtue and practicing self-control. Stoics think that people can discover a greater sense of happiness and fulfillment in their lives. Using Stoicism in real life, Stoicism is more than just a way of looking at things. It's also a way of living a good life. especially when it comes to heart issues and specific worries about a woman's past. Instead of dwelling on her past, Stoicism gives her a new point of view. To become silent, you need to focus on yourself and grow as a person. First and foremost, you need to become very aware of yourself. Ask yourself, what values are really important to me in a partner? Do her past events match these values? This is not a judgment, but a clear-eyed look at how well they'll get along. Next, Stoicism encourages people to accept everything as it is. Every person has a unique past, and it's important to recognize how that past has shaped who she is now. The question is, can you truly embrace her past without holding grudges or judgments? This doesn't mean tolerating every action, but rather understanding that people change and grow from their experiences. Additionally, Stoicism stresses the importance of focusing on the present moment. The past can't be changed, but the present is where life happens. What really counts is how she acts and what decisions she makes today, as well as how you both find your way forward. Dwelling on the past only slows down progress and clouds judgment. Finally, Stoicism champions controlling their emotions. Jealousy, insecurity, and anger are all normal human feelings, but they can easily cloud our judgment and make us make bad choices. By keeping your mind calm and logical, you can see things clearly and wisely. This doesn't mean hiding your feelings, but rather knowing where they come from and choosing how to deal with them by following these Stoic principles. Grace's understanding and strength will help you get through the tough parts of relationships. Remember that it's not about judging her past. It's about giving yourself the power to make smart decisions and build a future based on shared values, mutual respect, and real connection. As we conclude our exploration of the signs that may indicate past experiences with multiple sexual partners, it's essential to reflect on what we've learned and how we can apply these insights to our own lives. We've delved into 10 distinct indicators, ranging from subtle behavioral cues to more overt patterns, all of which can offer valuable insights into the dynamics of a relationship. Now, I'd like to hear from you, our audience. What has stood out to you the most from our discussion today? Is there one particular sign that resonated with you, or perhaps a new perspective that you've gained? Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comments below as we strive to navigate the complexities of relationships and personal connections. It's crucial to remain vigilant and attuned to the signals that may hint at underlying truths. By recognizing and addressing these signs with honesty and integrity, we empower ourselves to cultivate healthy, more fulfilling relationships. If you liked this video and thought it made you think, please leave a comment below. Also, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more thought-provoking videos. We really value your time and support. Thanks for watching, and until next time, be careful and mindful in your relationships.